I got it. Hold on. Your card was down. You got to keep that down. All right, go. Who's first?
I'll go.
Okay.
So for all the guest stars that you've had, is there anyone that you still haven't gotten that you want to be in like one of your movies or?
Hundreds of people, and yeah, there's such an extensive list that I don't even know where to start. But we finally got Zach Levi, who we've all known for years and years, going to Nerd HQ. And so Zach was like the first person we went to. So it was like we checked that off. We didn't get David Bowie in time, and although I don't know if he ever really would have done the show, but the one thing is that was the first thing I started. I created the villain to be David Bowie in his weirdest phase, which I think is the Thin White Duke phase, which I never understood. So I thought, what a strange, creepy, and Levi is so good in this part. I can't wait for you to see it.
Okay, so you can't tell us too much about the plot.
Well, I can tell you everything, but
could you tell us which former episodes maybe inspired or are referenced to? Like, give us a
oh my gosh, there's so many Easter eggs in this thing. There is.
Give us a few.
You got to watch the pilot, because there's about 3 of them that play from the pilot. There's a handful of episodes. Look at. It's easier for me to make obscure references to episodes that I directed or wrote because I remember all that stuff. But there are.
So
I think you got to watch them all.
Especially
Many of those, and the ones that James directed. There's a lot of really fun stuff. You guys saw? Were you at the panel?
No, we didn't get to see the panel.
Stuck in these rooms.
The half-beard makes an appearance in the opening sequence, which was our favorite. Thing. I don't know if you remember, but they had one beard that was their disguise, and so they needed to get into the gun range, so they cut it in half, and then they each wore half of it, and they pretended to be carrying something in past the front desk, and so James has used that half beard a couple times, and right away, God, what episode is that? It has a gun range, and whatever the half beard made its first appearance. Oh my gosh, there's Soup Can Sam. That was a character James brought out a couple times. I'm trying to think what else. Carlos Jacob appears in the movie. Carlos was one of our writers who also appeared. I think he holds the record now. He's played 5 different characters on the show. He was in Remake and just one of the funniest, greatest guys on our staff.
I know you said you had ideas. You want to have 5 more movies in the future, like Fast and Furious. Do you have ideas for what you'd like those movies to be
Oh my
about?
God. So many ideas. And, it was... I've been saying that for a while, and it was just this week that suddenly it became a thing. So, and I mentioned it to Entertainment Weekly, and we'd done the phone interview, and suddenly, like, everybody's asking about the 5 movies. I have to say, if you ever want to make 6 movies, just mention it, and it blows up on its own. So it's kind of like that. What was that thing? The Secret, where if you want something, you just envision it. And but I do. I have lots of world, and I would like to. Take these guys other places, because that's the fun of it. And the fun of it, we shot this in Vancouver again, but we were shooting Vancouver at San Francisco, so it was still different, and it felt fresh. And the best thing about the movie is it doesn't feel like it's 2 episodes of the show stuck together. It feels like a movie. It is a movie, and it feels bigger, and the stakes are higher, and the danger is there's some like really serious stuff that happens, and yet it's the silliest stuff we've ever done and the funniest stuff that we've ever done. And we're editing it, and I can't stop editing it because every day we find another little gem, and it's so fun. It's so good. I can't even begin to tell you.
What scene are you most looking forward to fans seeing?
Well, I really love. Oh, there's so many, and without giving away something. I hope so. I hope we, I don't know, do they still do Blu-ray? We've never done Blu-ray for our show, but did they still do box sets? Because I'm trying to figure out, can we have a commentary track? I think that's important. As a fan, I would want to have that. Maybe I'll just record it on my voice memo on my phone, and and we'll do it. But I would love to do something like that, and maybe we can record our own. It's a good point. You made a good suggestion. We're going to put that out in the world, and maybe we can get people excited and wanting. Because for me, I love doing the show, but one of my favorite parts of the year is when they were putting together the DVD box sets. They would go, okay, which 2 episodes do you want to do commentary for? And I would say, I want to do all 16 episodes. And they go, well, we can't do that. And I go, okay, I want to do 14. And then we would negotiate it. And they would say, okay, we can do 6. And I go, okay, great, 6. How many hours is that? And it says, well, 15 minutes of between each one. And then you have to do lunch and break for lunch. And what I said is, all right, okay, that's 5 hours. What if we do them and run them back to back to back to back? And we would do that, and we'd end up getting 1 or 2 more in there by not taking breaks in between. So if you ever get the box sets and wondered if our voices seem like they're worn out or if we're exhausted, it's because that was the 6th one in a row that we recorded.
Now you've talked a lot about, doing some Easter eggs and throwbacks for all the fans for the movie. What's something new that fans would be excited?
Oh my gosh, there's so many new things, and that's the coolest thing. Is like before we ever put in a "this is my partner" or I've heard it both ways, all that. I was like, what's the new thing we're gonna say, and what's the new? So we have like a whole slew of new running gags. The new Psych office is so good. I actually wanted to live in that set for a couple days and it also is an Easter egg to something else that's happened. I wish I could tell you all this stuff, but we have to keep a few things secret. But there's the new Psych office is great. The new the catchphrase that goes with the new Psych office is lots of fun. There's so many good bits. I set out to do, and James and I wrote the script together, but before I even sat down and pitched anything that I wanted to do to James, it was like, I want to pitch this show to the most die-hard fans, but also the person who's never seen it before. So if we do the little freeze frame cards that introduce each person, and in the opening sequence, and that's important to me because if you've never seen the show, you don't know the fake psychic and what he means and what his best friend is. You can walk into this thing blindly and pick it up, and I think that's really important for people to be able to reactivate and go back and go, oh my God, there's 121 of these to go back and find. Because I think it works for everybody. It works for the most diehard. But there's stuff in there that happened that, I'm like, no one's gonna get this. But let's bring it back and see what happens. So there's a lot of great Easter eggs. But more than the great Easter eggs, there's new things that I hope that we've been repeating in the editing room that we hope other people will be repeating and find funny.
What's it like being a creator in this social media age where fans are helping get these revivals kind of off the ground, and you're so connected? What's that like for you?
It's so cool, and I think because we have such a special group of people, because our show is about positivity and our show is about making the world a better place, and in dark times. It's weird that so many dark shows happen, because I always feel like that should be the time where fun stuff happens. So we're about saying something good about the world. The world's a good place, and everybody has a place. In that in itself was our desire to. We were really early adapters, I think, to engaging social media, because we felt like we wanted to be our own promo department in addition to the promo department that we have, because USA has this incredible machine, but they have a new show that comes out every year, so they have to change their focus and put it more on that, and then you're supposed to go on your own. So we got into when we had message boards from way back then, and then getting on it every time there was something else, it was like, all right, how do we get to connect with our fans? And it served us so well, because right into the Twitter age, beyond to the next thing, that it's been this sort of diehard base of people that we can stay engaged with, who have just beaten the drums so loudly for this movie to happen. Without that, I don't think anyone would have, no one would be calling me saying, hey, you want to do the movie this year? So it's nice, and it's so great too to be able to engage people and find out what's important to them. because when we sat down to write it, it's like, I know what I want, I know what James wants, I know what the actors want to do, but most importantly, what are the fans wanting? Because that's an important part of the equation. It's also important not to give everybody exactly what they want right when they want it, because you have nowhere to go. But I think if you can sort of make sure everybody has a voice and everybody has a say, it feels not interactive, but it feels like everybody has contributed to the thing.
And I want to know how large and what role is Tim Omundson? Because I know he can't be here today, and he's still recovering. And what is growing also because he is one of the few that stayed in Santa Barbara on the show. So how big is his role, and what's happening with that?
Well, what was so when the Tim thing happened, it was like we were like basically arriving in Vancouver, and there was a lot of questions. The first question was, how is Tim? How is he doing? And once we knew that, oh my God, not only is he recovering, but I'm so blown away by that guy. It's a strength that I would never have had. And he's coming along so well. It's like, all right, we want to make sure we put Tim in and we put him in a meaningful moment, but we're not going to make him, during this recovery process, fly up to Vancouver, go through, get a work permit, and do all that stuff. So now that we're back and we're cutting, we're going to shoot Tim's thing here, but we shot everything else that goes with it. So it was a matter of making an impactful moment, and when we're ready to do it, we put all the pieces together, we can then present it in the best way. And it's the stuff, the Tim thing is just, it's great. It's really cool.
Last question.
Okay, so of all of the references, all of the themed episodes, everything, one-liners, anything, what was your favorite thing to reference? Was it like the Hitchcock one that it's obvious, or was it like a one-liner that no one understood?
Well, I am very proud of the one-liners that no one understands. I brought one up today that's in the movie.
That's funny.
And I also have, we have jokes. We have jokes that we think 3 people will get, but the trick is, don't frame them as jokes, just roll right over them, and then someone goes, oh my God, do you know what that is? Those are always the sweetest for us when someone gets it. But in terms of genre, I mean, obviously Twin Peaks was, we take full credit for Twin Peaks coming back. But personally for me, I might have had, on the series, I might have had the most fun when we did the London episode and we did the Guy Ritchie thing, just because it was a great chance to sort of step into that genre. But it's like those, we never fully engage, and that was important to me. People were like, what genre is the movie going to be? And I said, the movie can't be a genre, because for 2 hours you can't just make it an homage to something. So it has to be it has to live and breathe on its own. And so we take detours into genre, of course, but it's, the genre is 2-hour action movies.
It's Psych.
Yeah. All right, am I moving on? I always overtalk. Thank you.